I figured I'd come on over to stretch my legs a bit. I think last we saw was around the clinic? I hope you're well. Don't mind I joined you here? Mm, last I checked, they're a bit quieter now, but it's probably best not to pay no mind to the radio. I mean, unless you tune it over to more of Rory's channel. The music is a bit easier. Ah, I believe they're just talking about a book of sorts. I kind of tuned it down a little. Hmm? That's quite alright. There's quite a few if you go over to Poppy's library, although that's in the Imperial City. The harbor might be actually the better place to find a book. I'm sure Docs might be interested in helping you find something there. Mm. Well, they do have a lovely inn there if you do need a place to stay as well. Albeit, well, it's, on land and I don't know quite certain on underwater. I figured it also might be a little noisy, uh, dependent on whether or not EM does his test of sorts. Although it's just something mechanical or some sorts of what was it? What was it? A particle accelerator, something like that. They tried to explain it to me. Yeah, it's I'm able to learn a lot of things. I don't think I want to go into that realm. Have you been feeling all right? Or have you been doing well, I should say? I know, last I've heard, you've majorly been alone, hiding from Coco. Oh, I see. That's nice to hear. Unfortunately, my nails and my hands get too much work to, consider that. I also, well, the beauty products of this place, well, I'm not 100% on it. I guess I hadn't really considered the fact that beauty products have also or would have been also updated over time. I manage a little bit, something alternative to a blush and a lipstick if need be, but my sisters were usually the ones that teach me and helped me with all the makeup stuff. And then later on, the staff, well, they had a very particular look that needed to be done, but I've managed to find a middle ground with them. But they weren't quite the middle ground at best was not exactly still in favor for me. But I suppose all natural nowadays, or the occasional attempt at making lipstick with sweet berries and such. Mm. You said you also come from royalty, if I last recall. Good, any good memories to that? So far, the few that I've been hearing, at least from well, the crown always has its heavy weight to it, you know? Mm, well, there seems to be a good chunk of other royals that don't have quite fond memories in regards to royalty. There's another princess I met not too long ago, I believe. Hmm. I believe it was Princess. Evania, I believe? There's something like that. Ah, it's horrible. My brain has been, hmm I believe she was something in higher power at the very least. Something like, I think it was, to quote, power via blood. So I'm assuming some lineage. Though more elven, if I recall. She is mute, but she is very nice. We were discussing in regards to my the food project I've been working on. Perhaps maybe you'd be enjoying the results of that food project too. I believe she has some interest in learning from the school, like you did as well. Albeit she's still. That is actually the first attempt that I'm trying. Uh, the more carnivore meat. Although I'm having a bit of a trying to figure out where and how to do things, and at least enough production to help and provide for all the carnivores on the island. I have possible means, although maybe not as fruitful, but we'll see how it works out with Archimedes in a more plant-based meat, although, well, artificially is, well, artificial, but I figured it'd be something to see. It's an odd thing I've heard of. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Is that you, King?
Yeah, it's me.
What happened? You shot straight down into the water.
Misfire.
I see.
Hiya.
Hello.
Oh, let me remember that one. There we go.
We were just talking about the food project.
Ah, okay.
Where was I? On that too. I took a little, walking break. I've mainly been over at the tavern.
Hmm.
I believe I'm with, in due time, a chess match with Ares soon. Oh yeah, last time I swear he got beginner's luck. Well, more than beginner's luck in our match. But so far, I like to believe that my skills are still up to par, seeing as I have rightfully challenged two others.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's a favored pastime. It's a favored pastime.
I'm not. I unfortunately find chess very, very boring.
It's one of the many sort of noble things one can do, or at least the so-called things that I should have been more respectfully being told to do. If I recall, my family, as open they were, if I took one thing that was not proper, I would have to at least do something else that was. So, if I did archery, I would have to learn dancing. If I did horseback riding, I would have to do the more proper horseback riding.
Hmm.
Balance it out. Fortunately for them, the more, how would you consider it? The thoughts of a lady being as scholarly was at least somewhat favorable, so chess and books and whatnot, and the puzzles they find quite alright.
I mean, what's wrong with a lady being scholarly? I don't see the problem in that.
I believe if I recall, my, well, how to word this properly. The way my family ran things were a lot more similar to the ideals here than when I had gone into a different kingdom. They were a lot more traditional.
Hmm.
I couldn't fathom to see the fact that I would be the same standing as the king in regards to rulemaking and the such. At least if I could very much remember every time I did join a meeting, it was very, very tense. Well, a princess should be more so to learn more.
Don't listen to
The
anything about perfection. Not really such a thing.
hmm, the what was it? It was much more fun before having to gain all the responsibilities. So perhaps it'd be better that you didn't have to do all that. Well, imagine the everyday radio chatter, but in person with subjects and council members who would constantly study and judge every move you did. It's not quite fun. It's probably best to think that your parents just wanted to keep that away from you, at least to let you have fun learning new things and whatnot. If I recall correctly, if it wasn't to take over your parents' land, you would have had to have been married off to another. And then would have been when you had gained the responsibilities. Hmm. Hmm. Unfortunate.
Well,
Well, I think we
uh,
could attest to hopefully you've been able to find a fun here now. As much fun as you can find here in the Isle. Hmm. That's good. Did you have anything else to add? Okay.
yeah, hmm, hmm. Well, yeah, but not having as much fun or strict rules over there, at least, you, like Delara said, you don't really got to worry about that here. You could
Mm-hmm.
just do pretty much anything you wanted. Just no one really tells you what to do anymore. So just do what you feel like.
I think we all, anyways, deserve the rights to critique our families and our upbringing.
Yeah,
I think that also came up to a point once I had moved out of my parents' place. There were only a handful of people that trusted me, or at least would at least share a kinder gaze. I do plan to hopefully host some more things here soon. There was a thing, if I recall correctly, my sisters and I would do. We would challenge ourselves to draw when we would be able to step outside the castle walls, or at least the backyard. I figured a drawing session as such would be enjoyable. Out of character, hey, truly, remember those drawing sessions that I used to host back in the old server? And then like, maybe one or two people would come and we would draw out of character? Outside of that, maybe another chance at that hunting event. You could probably procure a lot more meat that way as well. I think a few more, I think at least some more. Mm, there's too much grief here on the isle. It's far too much, and everyone lingers on that, and it very much apparent on the radio. It's just something small that can break up the day by day. There's an event that I believe Aries had in some of the books over at Moore's library. I can't recall the naming of it, but there's a few festivals that they have hosted there in Holster. I figured something similar here in New Leaf or in other towns and such would be of interest. Hmm. That, or I could host a little bit more in the school. Was there a time that Phoenix had mentioned of arriving? Mm, I think I'm gonna be doing my last little hoorah soon in regards to attending to my memory. I think I've developed enough of a recognition to at least understand the blurriness that it is, but I might pop by and visit Phoenix's home soon enough. The, let's say the burning castle is probably a good enough trigger to spark something. You know, if you happen to visit by the tavern, there's some, fish dishes that might be of interest. I don't recall the menu on the top of my head, but it might be of some interest. At least if you both. Oh, I'll go. You know, if both you and Phoenix do manage to find your way towards the tavern, that's probably where I'll be at as well. The I believe there's still some dishes there that is of interest. Or at least some fish dishes you might be of interest. Add a character, me forcing the tavern workers to actually work. I think I'm actually supposed to work.
Sigh, I guess I'll go to work. Fine, man, I'll fucking go. Probably
Hold
should
on.
switch to this one sometime soon. But
Who's supposed to work today? Today's what, Thursday? I'm supposed to work? Who's
Mara's
Ika?
just general security.
Who's Ika?
Ika is Kai.
Kai.
It's just the
Kai's supposed to work. Ether's supposed to work. Siren. Belinda? Or no? Wait, no. I'm reading off the wrong fucking thing. Ika, Ether, Siren, and Dylan.
Mm.
I find it quite odd that I get more pay.
I mean, you're also a sponsor, so I would guess that's the reason.
Hello.
Hello.
Lock in. Fuck this work schedule. Who needs to work?
Bleh.
Nah, right. But yeah, the tavern. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hello again. How are you? Just talking a little bit about the tavern. I believe Phoenix is to arrive here soon. Mm-hmm. I hope you are able to help him out after the radio. As I had said over the radio, grief should be recoverable, not weaponized. In fact, what you had said, Poppy, it's not quite. Are you okay? Amelia might be giving us hardships, but it's not enough to salt the grief she has over losing not even her family, but hundreds of people that she might have known.
I'm getting tired again. Well, guess I'll be going.
All right, farewell.
Bye.
You had sent something about a book over the radio. Oh, good. Oh. This is the painting that Kodiak had requested from me. The is that not it? There's like a city, something with like two suns of sorts. I had been requested a painting of that. It's over in the clinic. Mm-hmm. Bit of an arrival. Hello, Phoenix. Not at all. Just idle chatter. I was mentioning a painting that, a book that Poppy had mentioned over the radio. I happen to have also painted. It's over at the clinic. If if need be, I know the discussion was to be between the two of you, so I don't mind heading out if need be. You were only expecting Mari here. Mhm. The radio is always quicker to bring up emotion. We're putting the head of the culprit on a spire, right? We're right here. Actually, I don't even want it looking at me. Hmm. Grief will also amplify that. Their outrage is understandable, albeit, as I said over the radio. The grief should not be, well, they did arrive, well, not even arrive on the isle. They were found here, if I recall, in some sort of basement of sorts over in the Imperia City. Although they did seem to recognize the location of where Archimedes showed up. And, well, a place that seems to should have held hundreds, thousands of people. We only found dust and bones. So, that it does. Unfortunately, I do think the Isle, or at least the residents, have found it too, hmm, if I recall, there's only one therapist here on the Isle, that being heavy. To how many people here? I don't think it, yeah. Even if you were to substitute in Kodiak, I mean, from the pattern, it seems, us Ares followers, I don't think we can manage all that, to help everyone. I think, ironically enough, that, new god that came by, uh, camaraderie, or there's a new god in the, minor god, it's, Jire? Jire? I think camaraderie might be something quite needed. Mm. Mm-hmm. Jire is a interesting, uh, newcomer, but I think the ideals at least would help in a more healthier community here on the Isle. I mean, we have a tavern, but that tavern is some of the drinks they have is quite strong even for moral taste. They can, however, make a good custom cup. Well, that's to each your own. Plus, a vice to anyone's eyes will matter differently. Would make sense. I think I've had my fill for a month or so. I can't even remember what happened in the past few days. Well, no, different wording. The last time I drank, I can't recall what had happened. So, there's my try in regards to homemade brewing and winemaking at the very least. I see. I will say perhaps the aisle might need more cosmetics than drinks. I think some folks might be interested in that. Perhaps even a store of yourself for that. Mm-hmm. I know myself I could do with a new lotion or two. As this much herbal remedies, these hands have taken quite a beating when it comes to farm work. Any particular designs, if may ask? I think perhaps that's another means of a market unopened to the aisle. Perhaps if the nails are even a bit stronger and larger than normal, people won't be able to press their buttons on their radios to talk. Could lower the volume just a little bit, perhaps. Hmm. Well, I look forward to hear if there's more to production of any means. Uh, that you also hear, Phoenix, if I may ask a quick question. Well, more of to give notice. Um, if you may recall, I'm trying to recall, at least try and figure out my memories. I've been slowly getting a pattern for how things can recover, although I might pop by just the exterior of your castles sometime soon. I figured a strong memory, and especially something so recent, would perhaps help. Be it a burning castle to, say, a sulfuric uh, nature outside of your castle. You didn't need to do much. I just need to at least sit outside and process. I believe the last time I was there with Cecil and such, well, if discomfort can occur from the few minutes I was there, then perhaps at least an hour just to process might help. I figured I'd give it a last little hoorah in getting my memories back. There's no need to apologize. It's actually more of a benefit in this situation. See it that last I recall my place, the citizens were uprising, it seems, and something of the course. At least enough light to burn a castle midnight. Mm. Oh? That we were. Or at least more so I think we were more so wringing out the trauma that is royalty. Mm, I do too. The nostalgia of it will forever be as warm as it can be. I could help with the rose garden as well. There's many that grow here in the or grow over at the taiga. Perhaps it's something for both of us to do then, Mari? If you'd like, you could join me when I head back when I head over to the castle. Plus, if I were to face my recent memories, it'd be probably best with someone else there too. Hmm. Of course. I'm sure some poppies amongst the roses would be fun. I figure those would be such rarities. Hmm. Well, fortunately, as much of a green thumb I may have, it doesn't lead that far into flowers and any other flora. Would you prefer a different name? At least as now. Hmm. I think while we cannot craft and find a specific white rose, I think we can at least try to provide as many as we can find on the Isles. Surely, with the collection that is all the different locations in the Isles, it should be more than enough colors. If you manage to mark a location you think would be best, then I think in a few days or so. Here, let's see. How do these work? I have far too many at my house, so if you'd like, you can keep that one. Gifted and grown. Likewise. With the how the Isle is, I think having a restricted list is understandable enough. Mm. Forgive me if my understanding of the timeline isn't quite correct, but wouldn't the... Well, you were a bit preoccupied, weren't you? When, well, around the time Amelia would have had asked. Albeit the situations I've been over centuries, as much ability and power one might have, you still have your limits, even if it's godlike. Mm, I don't know much about the God War, so I don't have much to criticize or comment on it. But I do know war, nevertheless, and that is also a very true statement. I've heard the name too, although of all the gods, I know not much. That's quite alright, Bobby. Mm, I would agree with Poppy. The talking is at least some bits of steam letting out. Although, we're, with centuries old grudges, it's. If anything, I think a dinner between you all would be good enough.
Look me in the eyes and tell me I'm wrong, Neptune.
I fucking hate you.
Look me in the
Flash
eyes and tell
kill!
me I'm wrong.
Flash kill!
The people have chanted it, I have to.
That they are. They've at least been hearing me out when it comes to at least cleaning up some of their messes. They're over at the east side of the village. There was a lot of land damage from one of Moore's and Ares' fights sometime in the past. But been able to clean it up. Oh? I suppose coming from a god with 3 divinities, or domains, well. Hmm? Your eyes? I see. Hmm. Well, I'm glad to have that you have someone to speak to at the very least. I suppose that's true. You laugh, but if you'd ever like, you could join me and Aeneas's sparring. Mm-hmm. Oh? Hmm. Hmm. Oh, thank you. Safe travels back. Hmm. Well, we have our project, it seems. I'll keep it in mind. I'll try to let you know when we do set it up. It's either that or you could spar with Rio. Very well. I should probably be heading back to the tavern as well. Or I might stay here a bit longer, beat the rain. Farewell.